So now that we're all finished, I just wanted to take a moment to ask you, how did that go for you? What was the process like?
It was actually pretty easy. When we first did the tour, there were so many things that stood out to me. I'm like, oh, we could talk about that, oh, that, and then I sort of got the feeling like there were too many things and they were too different. But I liked that we did in here first and it was their stuff because that felt easy. Now you were guiding it all and asking all the questions, but it felt easy. So now I feel like that was the baby step and I could maybe apply that to the more emotional things in the
Great.
house.
Yeah, baby steps first. Great.
Yeah.
Great.
It felt like a good beginner.
Yeah. Okay.
Places.
And what was the most challenging part of it for you?
I mean, deciding being really honest about the things, and whether or not they still had meaning for us, and being really honest and saying like, man, they totally love that toy, but they just don't play with it now. Because there's a part of me that wants to save everything. Like, I don't want to get rid of things because if there's a sliver of a chance that they're going to love it one day or we're going to use it again, then I'm like, we need to keep it because I don't want to have to buy it again.
Right.
And I hate throwing things out. Okay. I'm also like if we can recycle it and use it in some other way, we will, which is why we have the bin of toys that they just used to dump out.
And how did you feel when you kind of got to that place where you realized it's okay to let go or literally just remove out of the room the things that aren't functional anymore?
Great. I mean, I like that this is much cleaner and there are fewer, they love books and they still love books. It's just, it doesn't have to be 100 books. That the top 25 is still perfect.
Okay. And so what was most exciting for you about it, really?
When we were all done.
We were all done.
We were all done, and we sat down and looked at it.
Yeah. And so what happened for you in that moment?
Watch out, Bunny.
I think you dropped this.
Yes, there it is.
Were
you looking for that? I mean, the most exciting thing for me was, one thing, participating in it with my husband and us both having a dialogue about how we felt about things, and whether or not things were useful, because I think it's something we disagree on. A lot of times we'll hang on to some of those toys that are sentimental to us, but these guys don't care.
So tell me a teeny bit more about that. How was it to participate as a couple and experience? Did you get through some blocks that had been there previously, you feel?
Yes, and there are some things that we've talked about previously, but I think having this in place made it easier for us to make a decision about it versus we were never going to agree. Are you trying to sit down? Did you back up?
Somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, here you go. There's a seat. I think doing it in this with your concepts helped us have a place where we could talk about it.
Yeah.
Versus me just saying like, that's obviously for you and they don't play with it.
Right.
That would just be an argument.
Right.
Where we would just disagree.
Very cool. So it actually kind of helps with communication for the just in your day to day.
Plus, this gave us a purpose too.
Yeah.
Versus me just pointing out that something is, or him pointing out that you brought that down and that's whatever. Like talking about a purpose and having an objective is helpful too.
Okay. And what do you think are your sort of long-term goals now for now that you have this under your belt and can kind of carry this process through your home, both this now and over time? What do you think you'll be able to do with it?
For me, I mean, my goal would be to continue to use this as they grow up to keep things, as things move in, that things have to move out.
Great.
And it's more about acknowledging. So for clothing, it's very easy. When their clothes doesn't fit, they literally can't wear them anymore. So it's easy to go like, these are the ones they can't wear, and we're just going to take them out.
Yeah.
With toys, we haven't done that. We've just sort of continued to pile on the new stuff.
Right.
On top of the old. So I'd like to keep moving stuff out of the house that we don't use so that we don't become a toy store.
Yeah, great. And again, I just want to remind you of something and then encourage you to do it at the same time. Those things that really are special and meaningful to you and to Daniel that represent a developmental milestone for your kids or whatever, don't be afraid to hang on to them. As part of memorabilia, or to like we did with the pillow or the book, to take them out of this area and actually pull them into your area. I think it falls very much in line with the aesthetic that I've seen that the two of you have and the way you live your lives. And so don't be afraid to do that. It doesn't mean you're holding on to things or you can't let go. It just means that you're taking a little piece of beauty that's an object or a memory and carrying it with you. And you may have it in 30 years by your bedside at your, or at your office desk, and the kids will look at it when they're adults. And that's nice to have.
Or maybe for our next baby.
Or maybe for your next baby. Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm going to be checking back in with you over the course of this year, and we'll help you kind of map out a little bit of a time frame for how you can work around your house, and be super exciting to hopefully come back and take a visit and see how you've been able to apply this around your home, and also see if the kids take to it as well, and sort of use some of the language that we talked about today and bring it into their vocabulary. Like things is a great one. For them, as well as everything having a home and
place to live,
and what you can really do with them is reinforce, like you saw me do before, which is even as you're putting things away, if you start to verbalize or vocalize, you can say, oh, well, this lives here. They'll pick it up. Ah, what's that face?
He's like, it
So
lives
cute.
where?
That lives there. And be aware of where they choose to put things, because it may be that they have better choices about where things should live, or better ideas about where things can live than actually you do. So pay attention to that. A lot of this is going to come up from them. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool. All right, cool.
Awesome.
Great. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Pleasure. And that looks like a very good book.